What the H is going on, you guys? Buddy Blackbird here with another Photoshop CS6 tutorial. Today we're going to learn about creating and applying gradients. And gradients are a gradual increase from one color to another. So it's going to take all the colors in between one color and increase it to the point where you make it to another color. So we're going to show you where the gradient tool is. It's where the paint bucket tool is, and the gradient tool, they're in the same section here, and the hotkey is G. So you can select your gradient colors up here. If you click on the down arrow, you've got the custom gradients here. So go ahead and just select one of those, and I selected this green, the white to green to black gradient. And just go ahead and click from the left and drag to the right. And if you hold shift, it'll do a straight line for you. And you get your gradient that gets laid down. And the gradient will start from where you clicked up here on the, if you look at the image up here on the left or down here, it'll start from the left on your gradient image up here, on your gradient sample or whatever, and will end where your mouse was. It'll end on the right in your gradient sample image. So what I'm trying to say is that if I decided to go from right to left with this, the whole gradient is going to flip-flop, because every time where you click your first mouse, sorry for like stuttering a little back there, okay, where you click your mouse, that's going to be the left starting point over here. Where you release your mouse at the end, that's going to be the ending point, as you can see, like that. So it's not going to just go across your whole entire thing. It's going to be where you clicked and started, and let go of your click and ended. So I'm just going to bring this back to white real quick. Now I want to show you a couple of other gradient types. So we have our color and our gradient colors already picked out. Now we've got our gradient types. The first one we have here is a linear gradient. The next one we have is a radial gradient. Then we've got our angle. Then we've got a reflected gradient, and we've got a diamond gradient. And the first one that we already rolled down here with the straight line, that was the linear gradient. So the next one over is the radial gradient. And when you do a radial gradient, you usually want to start from the middle of your image or of your document and come out to an edge and let go. Oh, I didn't click on radial by accident. So start from the middle, go out to your edge, and now you've got a radial looking gradient that starts from the middle and gradually radiates out from the center. Now if you try to start it from the edge, it's going to start the center of the circle from the edge there. So I'll use that and I'll come down to the middle, and you can see what that did. It created like a little edge effect. So that would be cool if it was like maybe in like a corner or something like that, and you can get like a little corner lighting effect or something like that. The next one we've got here is the angular or angle gradient. And the angle gradient is kind of like the radial gradient, but it has really sharp edges. So for example, if I start from the middle and come out to the edge with the angle gradient here, you can see how it has the really sharp edge, and it just basically makes starts here and from this edge right here and comes around into a full circle, and the gradient actually ends here instead of emanating out from the center. It like kind of wipes around in a circle, like if it was like a windshield wiper wiping on color. So when you have something like this, you're going to want to have a gradient that's symmetrical, so the two colors match each other at the end and blend right into each other. So the next one that I want to show you here is the reflected. So let's go ahead and test this one out. So on this one, you're probably going to want to start from the center as well. So if you click in the center and drag out and let go at the edge, you can see that from the center, that's where the gradient started, and where you pulled up, that's where it ended, and that reflects onto both sides. And if you don't have it like completely even, you can see that the end color kind of dozes off towards the edge, and just keeps on going on as the last color. So if I did something like this, our edges are gonna just go off and be like the exact same color. And you can look how something like this can create like a light beam going across the sky or something like that. So that's something cool to think about. Now the next one over is what they call the diamond gradient, and that's just like the radial, except for it makes like a diamond shape. So if I drag from the center out, you can see that it makes a diamond shaped gradient. And the edge transitions of some of these are harder, which actually keeps the diamond shape intact, kind of. So that's how that gradient works. Now, as for some of the options up here, we've got our blending modes, which you can check out how blending modes work in the blending modes tutorial, which was a little while back. We've got our opacity that is just going to show how transparent or opaque the gradient you just laid down is going to show up on the layer. We've got reverse, so if I click on reverse, you can see that the sample has been reversed, and now when you drag out, it's going to go the other way. Dither here, you want to usually have that checked, and what you do is you click on that and it makes smooth transitions. And then we've got our transparency here, because when you have that checked, you're allowed to use transparency when creating gradients. So I could create a gradient that starts off at white and blends off into transparent, and effectively I'm making a gradient on the opacity. So that'll be for another tutorial, probably the next one. So stay tuned for that tutorial and learn more about gradients in the next one coming up. So I thank you guys for watching this one. See you guys in the next one. Have a good one.